This is a story about a group of courageous animals and their handlers. An often unseen relationship and bond that exists between the two that defend the front line of our nation, risking their lives daily. They're known as one of the best weapons on the force. The New Zealand Police Dog Squad aids the police on their war against crime. Over 150 dogs nationwide, and in particular 13 in Christchurch, protect the whole of society, dealing with some of the most dangerous offenders.
Annually we get between 9,500 and 10,000 jobs per year. A lot of the people that are caught by dogs would never have been caught in the first place. I like to refer to the German Shepherd as a bit like the Swiss Army knife, and it's not the master of all things, but it's good at everything.
German Shepherds are trained for the front line or general purpose activities. These young pups will undergo training as early as 4 months, learning skills such as tracking and biting. Even from a young age, these dogs possess a significant strength. Patrol dog handler Gary Donnelly and his frontline canine Blaze have been partners for 2.5 years now. Blaze is also an armed offenders rated dog, meaning his bite is one of the most powerful in Christchurch.
Ah, stop yelling, you mongrel dog! Hey, don't get him away from me!
With all of Christchurch as their playground, the police jump from one place to the next, creating real-life situations for them and their dogs.
We're here at one of the red zone buildings, partly demolished building. The part that we're going into is structurally secure, so we're allowed to use it for training. Effectively, we hide some trainers in there and then use the dogs to find them, and the dogs get rewarded with their toy.
This would be a position anyone would hate to find themselves in.
Police dog handler, come on out of there, I'll let the dog go.
It can take a police dog just minutes to track an offender inside.
Good boy! Good boy! Good boy! Come out of there!
For many offenders, an encounter with Blaze is just the first step. Next on their agenda is an attempt to hide their drugs, which is wishful thinking, as narcotics dog Milo can smell out 0.1 of a gram of any type of drug.
Good boy, good lad, good fella, what do you got? Good boy, what?
Milo can even find drugs in the most dangerous of places. As soon as he sniffs and sits, the simple reward process starts, the single driving factor of all police dog activities.
Our training is starts off with food, but then it moves to the retrieving a toy and the tug of war toy. It can be anything, but the police tend to use these sacking toys. And you can see how he really loves this toy. And if he does right, he gets his toy. So he does everything for a play with his toy.
The real driving force of the dog's work ethic, though, is the relationship between dog and handler, a side which is not often thought of or seen by the public. Family attachment is inevitable. And which one do you worry about more, Bruce or Milo?
Bruce.
Liar.
No, Gary. No, definitely Gary, yeah.
No, Bruce. And Milo. Hate Milo to get hurt.
A lot of people think they live at the station and that they're these caged monsters that we let go, but they're not. They're just normal dogs trained to do a job.
I love having him here. He's a beautiful dog, good-natured. After having a lifetime of German Shepherds, he's a very pleasant change. Lovely temperament.
He just looks to have my attention and please me, and that's what you get, this big horrible Labrador paw constantly demanding that I pat him when he's like this. He's just a big sook really, aren't you?
How in tune would you say you and Blaze are?
Oh, very in tune. I can read his body language and his indications very well, and that's how you track people and find people. And you can be sitting there doing nothing and he'll prick up and look somewhere with his ears up, and I know, someone's coming there. Oh, he's probably the best dog I've had. A couple of the others are pretty close. They've all got their own traits and just wants to please you. stare at you.
Yeah, you've got to be in tune with them. You've got to have that bond. Just get out of it. He also has figured out now that there's food in my pocket.
The perfect example of this relationship was played out in the most tragic of ways almost 3 years ago.
It was just a nothing day. It was an early shift, and one of the I-cars pulled up beside me, and I said to Richie, I just get this feeling that something's going to go really badly wrong today.
Kia ora, good evening. 2 police officers are in hospital and a police dog is dead after a confrontation with a gunman. And just a short time ago, police named the 2 men as 51-year-old Senior Constable Bruce Lamb and 39-year-old Constable...
There's a closed door. I put my hand up on the door, pushed the door open. I could see the silhouette of a person, and as my eyes got used to the dark in those split second, I saw the shape of a firearm. And they say you don't hear the bullet that hits you. It was like slow motion. Put my hand to my jaw and it was just mush. And I ended up on the ground. Gage was in front of me. The offender was behind me. I turned to look round and the offender was coming over the top of me to shoot me a second time. And just as he fired the second shot, Gage launched himself over me, went across me to attack him, and I had no idea of how I got out of the house. I looked down at Gage, thought, are you okay? And he's running beside me. I thought, yes, sweet. I looked down again, I'm dragging a dog who's unconscious on the end of a lead, and I carried him into the middle of the road. I then realised that I thought he was probably dead. For a long time I regretted doing that. I don't like those images of him in the middle of the road. I don't know, they affect me and I don't know why. There's an image of him on the road and one of the guys came out in all his black gear. He sat down the road beside the dog and patted him. That was still pretty emotional because you work with these guys, you hold them in high regard. And to see somebody do that, yeah, it was pretty special.
Bruce isn't a person who becomes emotional easily, and hearing him tell the story, I realised that it's still very real and runs quite deep, really.
I'm not sure how to put it into words, but yeah, it affected me more than some of my own dogs when they died or got put down. And it could happen to any dog handler, so that's sort of what it brought home, really.
The relationship between these dogs and their handlers is a sight you'd have to see to believe. Friends and partners, defending the front line of our nation, risking their lives daily.